Now, when it comes to fursuits, the number one thing that you will need to understand is that fursuits are a luxury item and not a necessity to being a furry. Now, I know that this is very cliche because every furry YouTuber or just, video or content creator in general says it every single time, but it is true and a lot of people do forget this. Like, in order to be a furry, having a fursuit is not a requirement. Here are the requirements that you need to be a furry. 1. Do you like anthropomorphic characters and appreciate them? Are you fans of them? If that's a yes, well, that's number 1. Number 2, are you willing to call yourself a furry? And number 3, are you comfortable with calling yourself a furry? If you said yes to all 3 of those, then there you go, you're a furry. Everything else is just an extra plus. Now, fursuits are obviously very expensive, and as time has gone by, it has gotten more expensive than it used to be. And there are many factors as well as reasonings for this, which we will get into in just a bit. But before that, some furries will not use a fursuit. Some people will not commission or buy a pre-made fursuit, even though they have the monetary background to do so, because, well, not everybody will be comfortable wearing what is essentially a piece of artwork that weighs about as much as a carpet does on your body. Like, yes, it's very cool, and when you have it, it's awesome, but it's not a necessity, as I said before. And some people will have breathing issues in it that, to put it simply, they're not comfortable with, or in general, they won't have any medical issues, but they just do not want to because it can be very uncomfortable, which is understandable. Or you may not have the background. You may not have the funds in order to acquire a fursuit. Now, this does, of course, change a little bit. Now, there are exceptions to this. For example, things like dino masks, or paper/cardboard fursuits. Now, I do know there is a lot of drama behind it, for obvious reasons. So let's actually talk about it a little bit. The number one thing that I do believe we all need to recognize is that, 1, it's completely fine. Some people cannot afford the traditional fursuits. As such, they have to improvise and do that. And if that is how they're able to do it, then all the power to them. And another thing that needs to be remembered is that those people that start off with dino masks and such, there's a good chance that over time, as they grow up, make more money, as well as develop skills, there's a good chance that they may become fursuit makers in the future, or they may be able to sell off those old dino mask fursuits that they made and then save up some extra money after a few years, and they might just buy a traditional fursuit. But by being so negative towards them from the get-go, we're basically discouraging them from doing that altogether, which not only is a very asshole thing to do, but also very short-sighted. Because you don't know, maybe that kid that made a dino mask fursuit and actually made it pretty good looking, despite originally just being a plastic mask. And keep in mind, some of the modified dino masks can actually look incredibly cool. Like, take a look at these few examples that I found on Google, as well as the ones that I found on TikTok. Yeah, they're pretty good. Despite originally being just a plastic mask, they modified it well enough to become more than just that, which is quite awesome to see. Maybe that kid is going to grow up to become a pretty good fursuit maker that you yourself may end up wanting to commission. It can happen. And I would even argue that a lot of fursuit makers as well as artists started off with very cheap and easy to access stuff and then upgraded later on, since, as a kid, there are a lot of things that are inaccessible to you. Either because, you're too young and the products that you need are catered towards adult, and as such, as a kid, you can't exactly go and buy them, or so on. Now, why are fursuits expensive? Well, before we begin, we do need to keep in mind that currently we are at a time where, unfortunately, globally there is a lot of prices that are increasing. Now let's start with the basics. When you pay for a fursuit, you are not just paying for the labor
of creating that fursuit. No, you are also, by extension, paying for the materials as well. And unless you are looking for a low quality suit intentionally, you will need to pay extra for the higher quality materials so that the fursuit doesn't just dissolve after a few weeks, and it actually can be worn for multiple months or even years.
The only argument I do understand is with paper suits and mold. I kind of understand that, but at the same time, if a person is capable of making a paper fursuit, then they are damn well capable of making another one and then throwing the other one to the trash if it's just not equipable anymore. I mean, you made it before, you definitely can make it again, so even then, I don't exactly, see that. Take a look at furry convention photographs and videos, and you will see a lot of furries that don't wear a fursuit. Some of them own a fursuit, but they just didn't wear it for that convention because, again, sometimes you just can't be bothered to wear what is essentially a damn carpet on you for multiple hours per day. Now, another thing that needs to be mentioned, especially towards those of you whom have just gotten into purchasing a fursuit, or you are planning on doing so, always remember to take care of your fursuit. This is not something that you just take out of the box and then you can essentially wear it until the end of time. No, you do need to take care of it. You need to brush it, you need to clean it, and also you need to maintain it. Because otherwise it will take damage over time. Or if it doesn't get damaged, it can get so dirty to the point where wearing it is basically a biohazard. So please make sure to take care of your fursuits. Take good care of them. I probably made it sound as if your fursuit is a goddamn pet, but you get what I mean, man. Now, I do have a separate video about fursuits as well as mersuits, and if you are interested in this topic more, I would highly recommend that you watch that video. But apart from that, that is going to be about it for today. I do hope this video was helpful or entertaining to you. And I do have a question for you guys whom have managed to stick this far into the video. First off, my Furry Fandom 101 video. I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I think I botched that up very, very badly. See, I haven't just talked into a microphone as if I'm talking to a person for a couple of weeks now. I haven't done that. And I've gotten a little bit rusty at that, which I think that video shows pretty well. Now, I don't think I should delete that video because I do genuinely want to keep that as a reminder to myself that, hey, you are in fact improving with the way that you talk. But also because, it's funny to look back at something that so obviously was just poorly made but you upgraded from. It's a bit humbling, So I want to keep that. What I'm going to do is change the name of that video and make a different video that will be called Furry Fandom 101. Or, actually, I'll keep it Furry Fandom 101. What I will... No. I will change the name of that video, Furry 101, to something else. And then I'm going to make another video called that one, Furry Fandom 101, and make it a much more detailed beginner's guide to the furry fandom, essentially. But yeah, again, thank you for watching. I'll see you later. Goodbye.